Hey guys, this is the first video of section 2, chapter 1, section 2. It's called Measuring and Constructing Segments. So we have just a couple vocab words, not nearly as many as last time. So that's good. And then we're going to be constructing a couple segments, and then we will also do a little bit of math, nothing too hard. Today should be fairly easy. Homework should be pretty easy for you. So this first thing here, this is just kind of a visual of the ruler postulate, which we will define below. All right, so a postulate in general is a mathematical statement not proven. However, it is always accepted to be true. So we're going to get into later, we're going to get into theorems, which all theorems are proven. We're going to prove theorems in this chapter, meaning they're true all of the time. We know 100% they're true. Postulates, we know they're true, but we haven't been able to prove them yet. It's a total mathematical thing. We'll explain it later more. And the ruler postulate says on a number line or ruler, each point on that line can be matched to a number that is in 1-to-1 correspondence. So 1-to-1 correspondence, meaning that if I pick up a line and I find a point on that line, there's only one number on that line or on that ruler that is matched with that particular point. All right, so here we are to slide number 2. We have 2 more vocab words and then we're done with this section, so not nearly as bad as chapter 1. Congruent. Okay, here's a visual of congruent. Here is the symbol for congruent, so it's squiggly, line, line. It's like an equal sign with a squiggly on top of it. And all congruent means is that they have the same measure. Okay, so if you're talking about 2 segments are congruent, like here AB and CD are congruent, that means they have the same length. If you're talking about 2 angles being congruent, that means the angle measure of the 2 are the same. So if you look here, the way we designate congruent in our diagrams is these little tick marks. See this tick mark here and here? If they have the same tick marks, that means they're the same length. So it can be just 1 tick on each, or it can be 2 ticks on each. There's various ways to show it, but anytime you see they have the same markings, that means they are congruent. And that goes true for line segments and angles. We're only working for line segments now, but later on in chapter 1 we will work for angles. And then construction, guys. We're going to do a few constructions throughout this class, and when you talk about constructions, you are basically drawing things that uses a compass and a straight edge. Okay, so a compass is what most people refer to as the tool that makes the circles, and then a straight edge is literally anything with a straight edge. So oftentimes I'll use a ruler, or I'll use a protractor. Anything that has a straight edge that can help me make a straight line is considered a straight edge. All right, here is example 2. Now it gives you coordinates of J. Okay, here is example 2, guys. It says plot, and then it gives you 4 coordinates, J, K, L, and M, in the coordinate plane. So anytime we're given an empty coordinate plane and we're given coordinates, we need to plot those points. Okay, I shouldn't have to tell you, that's something you should automatically do. So J is at -3, 4, which is right about there. Come on, right there. Maybe. Sorry guys, I'm still trying to figure out this tablet. There we go. And K is at 2, 4, which is right there. Okay, now notice JK is a segment. So this is J, this is K. Don't forget to put the points. There's my segment. Okay, so that right there is JK. All right, now let's plot L and M. So L is at 1, 3, so about here. Notice this is going by 2s. If you're looking at me thinking I don't know how to plot, make sure you see that it's going by 2s. 1, 3, and then 1, -2, which is right here. Come on. This is L, this is M, And then once again, we're talking about a segment. So that's segment LM. Okay, so it says determine if they are congruent. Well, we need to know what congruent means to know if they are congruent. So if we go back, that means they have the same measure. Okay, so we need to see if they have the same measure. So here, the good thing about this is these are just straight up and down and straight side to side. So we can just count. So from J to K, this is 5 long, right? We start here at -3 and we go to 2. That's 5. Okay, now from L to M, it is 2, 4, 5. It is also 5 long. Okay, so because they both have the length of 5, they are congruent. So I'm going to say yes, congruent. I'm just going to use the sign because they are both 5 units long. Now this question would be very, very difficult if you didn't know what congruent means. So kind of back to vocab is very, very, very essential here. All right, now we're going to talk about the segment addition postulate, guys. So do whatever you need to do. Highlight this, star it, put a tabby in it to bring you back to it. But this is something that you will come back to throughout this whole course. Okay, segment addition postulate is brutal, and we can't do much without it, honestly. So let's put it in words, and then we'll kind of draw it out, and I'll explain it a little more. So it says, if points A, B, and C are collinear, and point B then is between points A and C, then AB plus BC equals AC. Likewise, if AB plus BC equals AC, then B has to be between points A and C. Now, we put that into words, and oh my gosh, what the heck does that mean? Okay, so we're going to draw it out. So if A, B, and C are collinear, so we have a line, and B is between points A and C. So say B is right here. Oh, come on. Here's B, and then here's A, and then here's C. Okay, so the 3 points are collinear. They're all on the same line. B is between points A and C. All this is saying is that this length, AB, plus this length, plus BC, is equal to AC, the whole thing. So for example, if AB is 5 and BC is 8, the whole thing would be 5 plus 8. Don't overthink this. This is one that's easy to overthink. All right, let's do an example now. So we have this line here, and we have 3 collinear points, D, E, and F. So if I were to put, and you don't have to write this out, I'm just going to, because E is between D and F, that means DE plus EF is going to equal DF. Okay, like I said, you don't have to write that out. So this plus this equals this whole thing. So 23 plus 35 equals, what is that, 58? So the whole thing, DF, equals 58. Here's my answer. Okay, let's do one more example, same but different. Now, down here, this is a little more difficult because we can't just add these together. So as you can see, 36 is for the whole thing, okay? This is the part we don't know. So just like in algebra, I'm going to have this as x. If I were to write this out, once again, you don't have to do this, as a segment addition, I would say FG plus GH equals FH, right? Because G is between F and H. So FG, I can see is 21, plus, well, GH, I don't know what it is, so I labeled it X, is going to equal, FH is the whole thing, which equals 36. Subtract 21 from both sides. I get X then is 15. So GH equals 15. All right, let's look at example 4 here. Now for example 4, we're going to use this diagram to the right. And it says use the segment addition postulate to find xz. Okay, so xz. Okay, well, these are together. The 3 points are collinear, so I can say xy plus yz equals xz, right? So xy, it's given, is 23. Yz is given as 50, and that equals 73. So xz, 73. All you have to do is add because they're right there. All right, now it's saying wy is 30. This is 30, okay? Let's go ahead and erase what we did before because this is a whole different scenario. All right, so wy is 30. Can we use a segment addition postulate to find the distance between w and z? Okay, and when I say the distance, it's the straight distance. Can we use the segment addition postulate for that? Here, we would say no, because points w, y, and z are not collinear. They are not in the same line, and therefore we cannot use the segment addition postulate. All right, guys, last example, and that'll conclude section 1.2. So it says here, the cities shown on a map lie approximately in a straight line. Now, anytime I have something like this, now you guys will learn as the year goes that I'm extremely scatterbrained and I'm very, very easily thrown off topic or distracted or whatever. So I like to simplify things as much as possible. So I'm just going to draw the same exact thing, but without the map. Okay, so I'm going to draw the line. That didn't work like I wanted it to. Draw the line, there we go. With Lubbock, call it L here. Tulsa is T here. And St. Louis is S here. The same thing is over here. And I know the whole way is 738 miles. And I know from here to here is 377 miles. And I want to know how much is it from here to here. So I'm just going to call it X. Okay. So once again, we have the segment addition postulate. I can say that LT plus TS equals LS. So 377 is LT plus, I don't know what TS is, X equals 738. Subtract 377 from both sides. I get X equals 361 miles. So from Tulsa to St. Louis is 361 miles.